The High Elevation Rescue System, Model 101 SR. Should the need arise to self-rescue or rescue someone from a high elevation, the 101 SR makes it safe and easy. The system is stored in a breathable compact bag that easily is stowed in an aerial basket or truck compartment to be readily available in the event of an emergency. The specially designed descending device is rigged only one way, regardless of the user's weight, and can be used for 4 different types of rescue situations, making it one of the most versatile descenders on the market. The 4 types of rescue situations are: to self-rescue from an inoperable bucket truck, to rescue a fellow employee where the rescuer and the victim descend on the same line, to rescue a fellow employee where the rescuer lowers the victim from above, and to rescue a fellow employee where the rescuer lowers the victim from the ground or lower level. The descending device has a 3-position operating handle that features an anti-panic feature. When weight is applied to the descender and the handle is released, the descender will lock. When the handle is slightly compressed, rope will slide through the unit, allowing the user to descend. By increasing pressure on the handle, the user will activate the descender's second braking position. When the user compresses the handle entirely, the anti-panic lock will activate, stopping further descent. Before using the 101 SR, make sure the rope is properly rigged through the descender. To rig, simply pass a loop of rope through the opening on the bottom of the unit, between the side plates, around the back side of the cam, and back out between the side plates on the top. Take the loop of rope and place it around the grooved channel of the cam, making sure both parts of the rope are separated by the post on the cam. Pull down on the lower part of the rope, closing the cam. When rigged properly, the end of the rope with the locking snap attached to it should exit the top of the descender. The equipment needed to self-rescue from an inoperable bucket truck is a compact containment bag that features a weatherproof design and a mesh bottom that allows air to circulate through the bag, preventing mold and mildew. A double braid rope available in 50, 75, or 100-foot lengths with a double locking rope snap spliced on one end. A double locking carabiner, the descending device, and the A1 repelling straps. The following demonstrates the proper use of the 101 SR out of an inoperable bucket truck. Remove locking snap hook from the containment bag and connect it to the attached point on the bucket truck. Attach the double locking carabiner to the repelling straps on the harness. Disconnect the shock-absorbing lanyard. Drop the containment bag to the ground, being sure it does not come in contact with persons or objects below. Carefully climb out of the bucket. Once supported by the descending device, firmly grasp the descent line with one hand while slowly compressing the handle of the descending device with the other, and make a slow, controlled descent to the ground. The equipment needed to rescue a fellow employee where the rescuer and victim descend on the same line is a compact containment bag, an adequate length of double braid rope with a double locking rope snap spliced on one end, 3 double locking carabiners, a dual rescue strap with an adjustable leg, a man-rated anchorage sling, the descending device, and a sharp knife. The following demonstrates the proper use of the 101 SR in this type of rescue situation. Connect the double locking carabiner and descending device to one of the short legs of the dual rescue strap. Connect the second short leg to the rescuer's harness attachment point using another double locking carabiner. Connect the third double locking carabiner to the adjustable leg of the dual rescue strap, making sure it is adjusted to the longest length. Once a suitable attachment point has been established and the anchorage sling has been installed above the victim, connect the double locking snap to the D-ring on the anchorage sling. Rappel down to a position slightly above the victim. Connect the double locking carabiner on the adjustable leg to the victim's harness dorsal attachment. Adjust the strap as much as possible. This will minimize the victim's drop distance after cutting the shock-absorbing lanyard. Cut the victim's shock-absorbing lanyard and make a slow, controlled descent to the ground. The equipment needed to rescue a fellow employee where the rescuer lowers the victim from above is a compact containment bag, an adequate length of double braid rope with a double locking snap hook spliced on one end, a double locking carabiner, the descending device, a man-rated anchorage sling, and a sharp knife. The following demonstrates the proper use of the 101 SR in this type of rescue situation. Establish a suitable anchorage point above the victim and install the anchorage sling. Connect the double locking carabiner and descending device to the anchorage sling D-ring. Connect the double locking snap hook to the victim's harness dorsal attachment, taking up as much slack as possible. Once the victim's shock-absorbing lanyard is cut, lower the victim to the ground in a slow, controlled manner. The equipment needed to rescue a fellow employee, where the rescue lowers the victim from the ground or from a lower level, is a compact containment bag, an appropriate length of double braid rope with a double locking snap hook spliced on one end. In this situation, you will need at least twice as much rope. If your rescue height is 75 feet, you will need at least 150 feet of rope, 2 double locking carabiners, a stainless steel rescue pulley, a descending device, 2 man-rated anchorage slings, and a sharp knife. The following demonstrates the proper use of the 101 SR in this type of rescue situation. Install one anchorage sling to a suitable anchor point on the ground or lower level. Connect the double locking carabiner and descending device to the anchorage sling D-ring. Install the second anchorage sling to a suitable anchor point above the victim. Insert the rope into the rescue pulley and connect it to the anchorage sling D-ring using the double locking carabiner. Connect the double locking rope snap on the rope to the victim's harness dorsal attachment, taking up as much slack as possible. Once the victim's shock-absorbing lanyard has been cut, lower the victim to the ground in a slow, controlled manner. The 101 SR can be used on any style harness with or without repelling loops. The following demonstrates the various types of attachments. To use the 101 SR with an X or cross your heart style harness, simply attach the double locking carabiner to the nylon loop or D-ring, making sure the gate of the carabiner closes and locks. To use the 101 SR with a harness that incorporates repelling loops on the vertical chest straps, connect the double locking carabiner through both loops, making sure the gate of the carabiner closes and locks. To use the 101 SR with a harness that incorporates repelling loops on the seat section, detach loops from the Velcro seat attachment, connect the double locking carabiner to both loops of the repelling straps, making sure the gate of the carabiner closes and locks. To use the 101 SR with a harness that does not incorporate repelling loops, the A1 repelling straps included with the kit will be needed. To attach the A1 straps to the harness, insert the large eye under the cross where the upper and lower sections meet, being sure both parts of the webbing are captured. Pass the small eye through the large eye, forming a girth hitch, and secure tightly. Repeat this process for the opposite side. Connect the double locking carabiner to both loops of the repelling straps, making sure the gate of the carabiner closes and locks. Remember, during use, make certain there is a figure 8 stopper knot tied at the end of the descent line. This ensures the user will not come off the line in the event the descent line is too short for the descent. While training with the 101 SR, make certain there is a figure 8 stopper knot tied on the descent line approximately 4 to 5 feet off the ground. This prevents the user from hitting the ground in the event of an uncontrolled descent. When putting the 101 SR into service on a bucket truck, it is a good idea to position the descender on the rope so the descender sits slightly below the lip of the bucket. This minimizes the drop distance, making the climb out of the bucket much easier. All Buckingham products meet or exceed applicable standards. Should you have any questions, please contact our customer service department at 1-800-937-2825 or visit our website at www.buckinghammfg.com.